Okay, so welcome back. We're gonna continue with the simple past. On the last class, on the last video, we were checking the simple present. And as I told you, the simple past and the simple present are probably the two most difficult time tenses that we can check in that way. But both of them, they have a lot in common. So I recommend you starting, if you haven't checked that, I think everything is up in the channel and you can check first the simple present chapter so you know what we are speaking about. Okay, so the simple past. Okay, I made a mistake here. Let me just forget about this part. The simple past. We're speaking about the simple past. Okay, so the simple past. Before we start speaking about the simple past, let's just remember a couple of things. First, when do you use the simple past? What is it necessary for? You use the simple past for finished actions, things that you cannot change anymore. Okay, if you say I didn't do my homework, that means it's over. Today was the last day. You have a 0, you have a 5, you failed. There's nothing you can do. It's gonna be like this in history. That's it. You cannot change it. The simple past is used for actions that are not continuing. If you say I went to Mexico City, it means that you are now in Mexico City or that you are now back from Mexico City, but you are not in the middle of going. Okay, the action of you going is over, it's finished. You're not going, you went. Another important thing is that the simple past can be used with multiple actions that happened around the same time. You can say, I went to the movies and ate popcorn and talked to my friends. All these three things, if you use them in the simple past, it means that they happened roughly at the same time, approximately at the same time. Okay. Another important thing about the simple past is that it is very useful when you are trying to tell a story. If you're telling an anecdote, if you're telling a story, if you're explaining how something is, it is very important because the central part of the story, the central part of your anecdote is normally going to be in the simple past. Okay, so now let's check. It says the simple past in English is used to speak about finished actions. It uses the auxiliary did. This is super important. So let's mark it right here. The auxiliary is always did. In this case, unlike the simple present, you don't have two auxiliaries. The auxiliary is always going to be did. The auxiliary is not used in affirmative statements. This is super important. So what is the meaning of that? Remember that we have a few types of sentences in English. We have affirmative statements. When you have an affirmative statement, you have subject, you have auxiliary, you have verb, and you have probably a complement. Okay, that's what you have. How do you make a negative statement? A negative statement is very similar. You have your subject, you have your auxiliary. In this case, the auxiliary, it was here. The auxiliary takes the negative, then you need to use a verb, and then again, we're going to use the complement. This is a negative statement. How do you make a question? How do you make a question? You need your subject, you need, because it is a question, you need to invert the order. Instead of subject auxiliary, you start first auxiliary and then the subject. Then you need to use the verb, and then you need to use, again, the complement. Okay? If you want to make an information question, let's say information question, okay? It's very similar, but you need to start with a question word. Question word plus auxiliary plus subject plus verb plus, again, complement. These are your sentences in English. This is what you have. Only in affirmative statements, so only in this case, let me change the color so that it is a little bit more noticeable. Only in the affirmative statements. In affirmative statements, we don't use the auxiliary. So normally, in affirmative statements, what is going to happen is we are not going to use the auxiliary. What happens if we don't have the auxiliary? If you don't have the auxiliary, then the verb, sorry. Okay, I moved everything. I think I can't use it like this. Okay, affirmative statements. In affirmative statements, you cannot use the auxiliary. Remember that the point of the auxiliary is to tell you the time tense. If you don't have the auxiliary, what you need to do is you need to change the verb. And this verb here has to be a verb in the past. It has to change. Normally, a verb in past, when we were speaking about verbs, I told you that they have different conjugations. One of these conjugations is the past. When you have a verb in the past, regular verbs is just the verb, and they finish with the or ed. So you have, for example, jump. In the past, jumped. You have, for example, check. In the past, checked. You have, for example, walk. In the past, walked. Remember, ed is almost never conjugated. This e is like silent. You say jumped, checked, walked. You don't say jumped, checked, walked. Okay? That's a very common mistake in pronunciation. So, but that only happens in affirmative statements. Affirmative statements are the only time when we have to change the verb to past. And we have to do this. And then we have irregular verbs. Irregular verbs, well, there are many irregular verbs, and we're gonna have to check them. I'm gonna give you a list of irregular verbs in the past so that you have an idea. But these ones you're gonna have to memorize. But if you check, you're not even gonna use them that much, because if you're making a negative statement, or if you're making a question or an information question, then the auxiliary is mandatory. When you have this, the auxiliary is mandatory because it takes the negative. The auxiliary is mandatory because it switches positions with the subject. The auxiliary is mandatory because it switches positions with the subject. The only time when we are not going to be using an auxiliary is in affirmative statements. And if we don't have the auxiliary, we have to change the verb. That's pretty much it. The rest of it is almost, I think I can erase this. Nope. Okay. Okay, so, well, whatever. Let's, and again, the other thing is you never use the verb to be with did. Did never uses the auxiliary to be. So let's move on. And then we have this part, which is important. Okay. Okay, this is it. Let me erase this part, this part. This part is not really important anymore. And this part here, I'm going to erase it. Okay, I'm trying to erase everything except this. This is important. Okay, so erase all of this. So it says, again, let me just do this one more time. Affirmative statements, only affirmative statements, they never use the auxiliary. Again, what happens when you don't have the auxiliary? The verb is in the past. So the auxiliary for the simple past is did, but we don't use it in affirmative statements. We don't use it. In that case, we have to change the verb to past. For example, in this case, we have the subject, right? Subject is the first thing. The auxiliary is not going to be used. This one is not going to be used. The verb and the complement, okay? Subject, auxiliary, verb, and complement. Normally, we will say something like this. I did finish, it will be something like this. I did finish my homework. Yeah? You will say, I did finish my homework, but we have a problem. The problem here is that we never ever, we never use the auxiliary in affirmative statements. Because this is an affirmative statement, we can never use we can never use the auxiliary. So we never have this. What happens if you don't have the auxiliary? Now it is in present. If you don't have the auxiliary is telling you the time. It's telling you, hey, this is in the simple past. If you don't have the auxiliary, what do you need to do? If you don't have the auxiliary, what you need to do is to change the verb. The verb is not going to be normal. The verb is going to be in past. In this case, this is a regular verb. So because it is regular, the verb in the past is only ed. Remember that when you are pronouncing, when you are in the pronunciation, you almost don't really pronunciate the e. You say finished, not finished. I finished my homework. It is a finished action now. So it is finished. There is nothing to change now. It is over. Okay, you cannot do it. I mean, it is a finished action. I finished my homework. I don't have anything else to do. I can move on. But what happens when you make a negative statement? In a negative statement, like this one, this is a negative statement. What is the difference? The difference is, well, you have the subject, and your subject is going to be this subject. The auxiliary is necessary because it takes the negative. So the auxiliary did is necessary because it takes the negative. You never use only not. You need to use the auxiliary plus the negative. So you have to say didn't, or if you want, did not. This is just a contraction. When you are using the auxiliary, the verb, this is the verb, doesn't have to change. The verb doesn't really need to be in the past. Why not? The verb doesn't need to be in the past because this auxiliary is telling you, hey, this sentence is in past. Subject, auxiliary with negative, verb, and complement. This verb is not in past. Why? Because you have the auxiliary. The only reason that you have to change the verb to the past form is because you don't have the auxiliary. When you don't have the auxiliary, your verb has to change. When you have the auxiliary, the verb remains the same. You never say, I didn't pass. I didn't pass it. That is called a double past, and it's redundant and it's unnecessary. You don't need to use a double past. The only reason we are doing this in the past is because we don't have the auxiliary. In this other case right here, let me just change it. This is a question. In questions, you start with the auxiliary, and the auxiliary is mandatory. Did, subject, you, verb, go. Again, the simple past of the verb to go, this is irregular, the past is went. Why don't we use went? You don't use went because you have the auxiliary. If you have the auxiliary, this is telling you, hey, this is in past. So you don't say, did you went? That will be double past. So this is not necessary. If it was an affirmative statement, then you need to say, I, subject, auxiliary did, but you don't use it. If you don't use the auxiliary, then the verb has to be in past. I went to school. Why is this in the past? Well, very simple. It is in the past because you don't have the auxiliary. If you don't have the auxiliary, well, you don't have a way to know if this is present or past. So you have to change it. When you have the auxiliary, the verb doesn't have to change. Remember, all of these sentences are in the simple past. So all of these sentences are finished actions. I didn't pass my exam, and it can be changed. I didn't pass the exam, and now it's too late. There's nothing I can do now. This is a finished action. Okay? Did you go to the mall? And now you're back. If you went to the mall, it means that you are not longer going. You went to the mall, and it means that you are in the mall or that you are back from the mall, but you are not in the process of going to the mall. When you say I went, it means it is a finished action. Does it make sense? I hope it makes sense. I will repeat it in Spanish this time because this is very important, okay? El pasado simple. ¿Cuál es el problema con el pasado simple? El pasado simple tiene varios problemas. El primero ya lo estamos viendo. El auxiliar del pasado simple es did. ¿Para qué sirve el pasado simple? Nos sirve para hablar de acciones terminadas. Ya no se pueden cambiar. Si dices no hice la tarea, significa que era para ayer, era para antier, era para hoy, ya tengo 0, ya tengo 5, reprobé. No la hice y nada lo va a cambiar. Así va a quedar en la historia. Ya no hay nada que hacerle, ¿sí? El pasado simple pues, se puede utilizar también para cuando estás hablando de una anécdota, de una historia, siempre se usa el pasado simple para la parte principal, para la parte central de tu historia, de tu anécdota. El pasado simple, bueno, el auxiliar es did, pero tiene una gran bronca. El problema es que las oraciones afirmativas, aquí arriba las tenemos, no llevan auxiliar. ¿Se le puede poner el auxiliar? Sí, sí se puede. Igual que en el presente, ¿se acuerdan que lo hablamos cuando estábamos hablando del presente? Si no se acuerdan, si no lo vieron, vayan otra vez, por favor, esos videos, eso es importante, eso les ayuda. Tenemos nuestro sujeto, auxiliar, verbo, complemento, sujeto I, auxiliar did, verbo go y complemento, aquí la misma, to school. Yo fui a la escuela. El problema es que este auxiliar no se usa. Si no uso el auxiliar, el verbo tiene que estar en pasado, porque si no hay auxiliar, no tengo manera de saber que está en pasado. Quien se tiene que hacer cargo de eso es el verbo. ¿Puedo dejar el verbo normal y poner el auxiliar? Técnicamente sí, pero en el 99% de los casos simplemente quito el auxiliar y pongo went. ¿Cuándo se puede usar el auxiliar en afirmativo? Cuando tengo que hacer énfasis en que es una oración afirmativa. Si yo te digo, ayer traje comida. I brought food yesterday. Y tú me dices, no es cierto, no había nada, no trajiste comida. Y yo te quiero decir, sí, sí la traje. Quiero hacer énfasis. Entonces digo, yes, I did. I did bring food. ¿Ok? Sí, sí lo hice. Sí traje comida. Si decimos I did, entonces ya no necesitamos cambiar el verbo. Pero tenemos que tener un buen motivo para no usar el auxiliar. Si ustedes, yo como maestro les digo, si ustedes dicen I did go to school, yo se los voy a poner mal. ¿Por qué? Porque para mí, ustedes necesitan una muy buena razón para tener que hacer este énfasis. Si nada más lo ponen así nada más porque sí, yo pienso que es por flojos y para no cambiar el verbo. Y como hay un montón de verbos en pasado que son irregulares, pues hay que aprendérnoslos. Y si siempre usáramos el did, nunca tendríamos que usar el verbo en pasado y entonces pues ni siquiera tendríamos que aprendernos los irregulares, porque acuérdense, solo en un caso, solo en el 25% de las oraciones, las afirmaciones, se usa el pasado, el verbo en pasado. Los otros 3 tipos de oraciones, que son el 75% de las oraciones, como tienen auxiliar obligatorio, entonces no hay que cambiar el verbo. En afirmativos, cambien el verbo. Si ustedes, cualquier maestro les va a decir que esto no se puede. A lo mejor lo llegan a escuchar, no me gusta echar las mentiras, se lo van a encontrar en algún video, se lo van a encontrar en algún lado, pero tienen un buen motivo para hacer énfasis. Normalmente, como maestro, no aceptamos que le pongan el auxiliar. ¿Qué hacemos? No se pone el auxiliar y el verbo tiene que estar en pasado. Go es irregular, no es goed, es went. I went to school. ¿Sí? Si fuera una oración negativa, entonces el auxiliar es a fuerzas, porque el auxiliar se lleva el negativo. En ese caso, el verbo, como el auxiliar ya está, no es went, es go. Me vale gorro lo que diga la lista de verbos, no me lo tengo que aprender. I didn't go to school. Si la oración es negativa, el auxiliar es obligatorio. Más o menos, con las preguntas igual. Si ustedes van a hacer una pregunta, empiezan con el auxiliar, did, después el sujeto, I, después el verbo ya no tiene que ir en pasado. ¿Por qué? Porque ya tenemos el auxiliar. Tenemos primero el auxiliar, que nos está marcando el tiempo, luego el sujeto y el verbo ya no necesita estar en pasado, porque para eso está el auxiliar. Y después el complemento. Y esta es una pregunta. ¿Más o menos? Así es como funciona el pasado simple. Si se dan cuenta, es muy parecido al presente simple, especialmente a la cosa de la tercera persona, de cuándo se pone ese y cuándo no se pone ese. Acuérdense que, bueno, ustedes deciden si utilizan el pasado, lo utilizan para acciones terminadas, si utilizan el presente, lo utilizan para cosas que siempre son ciertas, y bueno, tienen que saber las reglas. Este es uno de los tiempos más difíciles, yo les dije desde el principio, tanto el presente como el pasado son probablemente los dos tiempos más difíciles, porque tienen todas estas excepciones, todas estas cositas que son diferentes, que están un poco raras, ¿ok? Vamos a cambiar. Ahí vamos a ver. It says, the simple past is used to talk about actions that finished, and we can speak about many of them that happen at the same time. ¿Ok? Podemos hablar de varias acciones que terminaron y podemos decir que terminaron básicamente al mismo tiempo. ¿Ok? Aquí, por ejemplo, podemos decir, déjenme cambiar aquí, we went to the cinema. No se pone el did porque es una oración afirmativa. Como no se pone el did, el verbo está en pasado. And ate popcorn. Si no ponen ustedes el sujeto, si no ponen, o sea, cuando ustedes tienen esta palabrita de aquí, es una conjunción. La palabrita and es una conjunción. Déjenme cambiar el color porque está un poquito, así no se nota mucho. Esta es una conjunción. Y cuando tenemos una conjunción, podemos decir que este sujeto de acá, podemos decir que este sujeto de aquí es el mismo que hizo esta acción de acá. Pero si otra persona comió palomitas, aquí dice, nosotros fuimos al cine y si yo no le pongo el we, si yo quito esta parte, entonces se asume que el sujeto de comer palomitas es el mismo. Si otra persona comió palomitas, que no sea nosotros, entonces lo tengo que explicar. And they ate popcorn. ¿Ok? Si tengo otro sujeto, lo tengo que poner. Si es el mismo sujeto, entonces lo puedo dejar así. Otra vez, como es una oración afirmativa, no se usa el auxiliar, no se usa el auxiliar. Si no se usa el auxiliar, el verbo va en pasado. Y otra vez, si el sujeto es el mismo, puedo no ponerlo. Aquí se entiende que es el mismo sujeto. Otra vez, este no se usa porque es afirmativo y el verbo, este sí es regular, está en pasado. Si ya es otra persona la que hizo la acción, o sea, si tú quieres decir, nosotros fuimos al cine y ellos comieron palomitas y aquellos vieron la película, otras personas, además, y tú viste la película, entonces necesitamos tres sujetos diferentes. We went to the movie and they ate popcorn and, otra conjunción, you watched a movie. Si no pones they o no pones you, entonces se asume que we es el sujeto de las tres cosas. All of it happened at about the same time and is finished by now. Todas estas cosas pasaron más o menos al mismo tiempo y ya están acabadas. Ya están terminadas para ahorita. ¿Sí? Así es como funciona esta cosa del pasado simple. Ahora, tiene otra complicación que es la misma que tiene el presente. ¿Se acuerdan? ¿Ustedes se acuerdan? Voy a borrar esto de aquí ahora sí, ya no tiene mucho caso. ¿Ustedes se acuerdan que el pasado, en el presente simple, the simple present, the auxiliary do and the auxiliary does, they work for every single verb except for one. The verb to be is a different story. The verb to be works in a different way. In the simple past, it is the same. Okay? In the simple past, if you have an affirmative statement, you have subject, auxiliary, verb, and complement. Yes? Normally, what you will have to do in a normal time tense, you have subject, auxiliary, verb, and complement. Yes? Again, let me just label them. Subject, auxiliary, verb, and complement. But we have two problems here. Problem number one is that we never use the auxiliary in affirmative statements. This is an affirmative statement, so we never use the auxiliary. So the verb to be has two conjugations in the past. In the past, the verb to be, it can be I was. Yes? It can be you were. It can be he, she, or it was. In the plural forms, you have, well, plural, you have we were, you were again, and they were again. Okay, so these are the forms. Yeah, for the first person of the singular, I was. For the third person of the singular, he, she, it was. For the second person of the singular, were, and for all the plurals, also were. The verb to be has to be was or were. In this case, because the subject is you, the verb is were. So we don't use the auxiliary, and we say we are not going to use the auxiliary. So it says you were hungry, and that's it. You don't use the auxiliary. The problem is, again, in negative statements or in questions. In negative statements, again, you have your auxiliary, your subject, auxiliary, verb, and finally your complement. Yep, this is pretty much it. You have subject, auxiliary, verb, and complement. The problem again is that this specific verb, the verb to be, this verb here, never, ever, ever uses the auxiliary did. Yeah. In the simple past, we use the auxiliary did for every verb except one, to be. So we have the verb to be. So even if it is negative, we normally have an auxiliary taken, the auxiliary taking the negative. In this case, it is impossible. We never use did. So what happens if you don't have the auxiliary? If you don't have the auxiliary, the verb acts like the auxiliary, and the verb takes the negative. And you, instead of saying were, you say weren't. Yeah, you don't have the auxiliary, the verb takes the negative. You weren't hungry. You see how the verb is acting like the auxiliary. That's why it has the combination of colors. This is acting like the auxiliary and is taking the negative. You never say, I didn't wear, or you didn't wear. You never say that. It is impossible to say that. Okay? What happens when we are making questions? When we are making questions, again, we start with the auxiliary normally. First is the auxiliary, first auxiliary, then the subject. We change the positions, first auxiliary, then subject, then verb, and then the complement. This will be okay in every time tense, except in the simple present and in the simple past. In the simple past, again, we have this ridiculous rule that the auxiliary is never used when you're using the verb to be. If you have the verb to be, sorry, I chose the wrong tool. When you're using the verb to be, you never ever use the auxiliary. So what happens if you don't have the auxiliary? The auxiliary was here, and then you have your subject, your verb, and your complement. What do you do to make a question? If you don't have the auxiliary, what you need to do is the verb works like the auxiliary. Remember that the verb works like the auxiliary. So the verb is the one that switches positions with the subject. So your verb is going to switch positions with your subject. And what does it say? Were you hungry? This is at the same time the auxiliary and the verb. This is the subject. We don't have the verb here because we moved that over here. And this is the complement. With the verb to be in the simple past and in the simple present, we just never use the auxiliary did. Never. Okay? What happens in an information question? Information questions, again, you start with question word, auxiliary for the past, that is always did, your subject, your verb, and your complement. Just the same as here, yeah? Check them, they have the same. Question word first, auxiliary, subject, verb, and complement. Again, cualquier otro tiempo, los otros 10 tiempos que vamos a ver después, esto estaría perfectamente bien, no tiene ningún problema. Pero el pasado simple es una cosa aparte. El pasado simple y el presente simple, ¿cuál es el problema? Que no importa que sea una pregunta, cuando tenemos el verbo to be, nunca usamos el auxiliar. Este no se puede usar. No tenemos el auxiliar. ¿Qué va a pasar si no tenemos el auxiliar? Si no tenemos el auxiliar, el verbo va a funcionar como si fuera el auxiliar. ¿Y qué va a hacer este verbo que funciona como auxiliar? Va a cambiar su lugar con el sujeto y se va a poner acá. Y entonces, ¿qué queda? Why, where, aquí está funcionando como auxiliar y verbo al mismo tiempo. El sujeto, aquí otra vez ya no hay verbo porque lo quitamos y lo movimos para allá. Y este es el complemento. Nunca decimos, why did you were hungry? El did y el were no se ponen. Why was I hungry? No se puede. Nunca dices, who did was? No. Who was or who were. That's it. No se puede cambiar. ¿Ok? Ese es el problema con el presente simple y con el pasado simple. Esos, los dos tiempos yo creo que son los más difíciles que hay en inglés. Los empezamos a ver desde la primaria, a veces desde el kinder, y aún así tenemos problemas. Yo estoy seguro que hay gente que lleva 10 años viéndolos. Espero que esto les sirva mucho para entender un poquito cómo funciona. Estamos otra vez en los últimos semestres y para ahorita esto ya debería de ser una cosa que no tenemos problemas con ella, que nosotros podemos entender, que podemos saber. Entonces, bueno, déjenme ver si hay alguna otra diapositiva, no estoy seguro. Ok, aquí tenemos, bueno, nada más un pequeño resumen de todo. Aquí dice, the simple past is used to speak about finished actions that can be changed. Ok, se usa para acciones terminadas que ya no pueden cambiar. The auxiliary for the simple past is did. Nada más es uno, no como en el presente que había dos. Es nada más did. Aquí también dice, the auxiliary for the simple past is not used in affirmative statements. In affirmative statements, we never, ever, ever use did. When that happens, cuando no tenemos el auxiliar, the verb has to account for that, and it changes to its past form. Cuando no tenemos auxiliar en oraciones afirmativas, el verbo es el que se tiene que hacer cargo. ¿Sí? Acuérdense, los verbos en pasado tienen diferentes, bueno, normalmente son con D o con ED, pero la E no se pronuncia. Walked, tried, jumped, used, así nada más. Not used, not walked, not jumped, jumped, tried, walked. Pero también hay un montón de verbos irregulares. ¿Estos cuándo los ponemos? Cuando no hay auxiliar en las oraciones afirmativas. Cuando sí tenemos un auxiliar, por ejemplo, en todas las oraciones negativas o en cualquier tipo de pregunta, cuando tenemos el auxiliar did, el verbo no va a cambiar. El verbo se queda normal. No nos importa si es regular o irregular, vamos a ponerlo normal. ¿Ok? Después dice, the auxiliary did is used with every verb except the verb to be. El auxiliar did se va a usar con todos los verbos, no sé cuántos haya, 10,000. Si hay 10,000 verbos, se va a usar con 9,999. Hay un solo verbo con el que no se va a usar, ese es el verbo to be. El verbo to be en pasado puede ser was o were. Was para la primera y la tercera persona del singular, were para todas las demás personas. Cuando usamos el verbo to be, entonces el verbo to be funciona como si fuera su propio auxiliar. ¿Sí? El verbo to be es el que tiene que tomar los negativos, es el que tiene que cambiar su lugar con el sujeto para hacer, ¿cómo se dice? Para hacer preguntas. Y finalmente, podemos usar la forma simple, el pasado simple, perdón, para hablar de varias acciones que pasaron aproximadamente al mismo tiempo. ¿Sí? Cuando estamos diciendo una historia o una cosa así, pues normalmente el punto central va en pasado simple. El pasado simple es muy, muy, muy útil. Es muy importante. Bueno, aquí ya es el futuro, entonces eso lo dejamos para la próxima sesión. Hasta aquí dejamos aquí. Bueno, hasta aquí dejamos esto. Si tienen alguna duda, alguna pregunta, por favor anótenla. Cualquier cosa que tengan, la podemos poner en el grupo que vamos a tener del curso. Ahorita estoy grabando esto un poco con tiempo, entonces no estoy seguro cómo va a funcionar. Va a ser un equipo, va a ser más bien un grupo de Teams o va a ser Google Classroom, todavía no me decido. Vamos a tener un grupo de WhatsApp también y vamos a tener sesiones interactivas de Zoom, donde ustedes puedan decirme sus dudas, donde podamos checar esto, pero necesito que todo el mundo tenga más o menos estos temas entendidos. Entonces, por eso estoy empezando desde el principio. Véanlos las veces que sean necesarios y si tienen alguna duda, apúntenla. Y los días que tengamos clase, podemos checarlas directamente y podemos usar sus ejemplos directamente para dejar claro cualquier duda. ¿Ok? Entonces, bueno, eso sería todo por ahorita. Si quieren seguir con el futuro, creo que para cuando estén viendo esto ya todo va a estar arriba en el canal. Entonces, bueno, si quieren hacer una pausa, comer, descansar, si quieren volverlo a ver, bueno, ¿ok? Mi nombre es Ricardo Montoya, ya no se los había dicho porque creo que lo dije en las primeras 2 o 3 sesiones, pero bueno, no sé, por si alguien más está viendo, mi nombre es Ricardo Montoya, esto es para la clase de inglés en la Universidad de Guanajuato, pero bueno, si alguien más lo está viendo, también un saludo y nos vemos después.